Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Check, 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 check. Come on over here, buddy. Come on over here, buddy. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Loving it. Loving it. Loving it. How's hair? Well, I don't know about you guys, but setting up today was a whole lot easier because I didn't have to worry about reflection. I'm so excited. So excited. So excited. For those of you that, well, heck, I don't know that I mentioned it. Anyway, I had eye surgery 2 weeks ago on this eye. They took out the old lens, threw it away, put in a new lens. The new lens corrected for everything I have. And we're getting the same thing done here tomorrow. Pull out the old lens, throw it away, put in a new lens that corrects for vision, corrects for distance vision and astigmatism. I'm over the moon on this. Plus, it means that I can bring this light right here down to get away with some of the shadows under the chin because I've had to keep that light up high so that it didn't have reflection on the glasses. I could even do a ring light. Oh, wow. I'd be just like a teenager. Anyway. So, yeah. Let's see if we can catch up here. Hello, Rich. Hello, Michael. Hello, Ed. Hello, Vlad. Hello, Mags. Hello, Rick. Rick, I haven't been ignoring you. Well, I have been ignoring you, but my plans are to come to NAB in April and have tentative agreement with Scott Whitney to do the Streaming Idiots meetup at his brand new, still under construction studio. So yeah, grand paternity leave waiting. You're waiting. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. We're waiting too. We had one in, when did we have one? 5 months, 6 months ago. So that would be April, March, and expect another one in February. Can't wait. Yeah, I'll have a new knee and 2 new eyes. What I need is some new guns. Yes. Well, yeah, it was, what do you call that stuff? Cataracts. Ed, that just forced my hand on this eye. And then, can't have uneven eyes, so had to do that one. But with astigmatism, it made it more expensive because I didn't have to correct for that, but I would still have to wear glasses. And I thought, this is great. I've been wearing glasses since I was 8 years old. 8 years old. Except for a brief time for about 10 years where I wore contacts. But now it's like get up in the morning and I can see what I look like. I can see what my spouse looks like. She's even more lovely when I can see her. Oh, no, not going to make it to NAB in New York. It's from what I've heard, never been there. From what I've heard, it is a local trade show. It's got all the glamour of maybe a regional thing or a statewide thing. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. Then I remember when the vMix guys used to do their shows at times that were just not convenient to anybody here in the States. And it would be, 3 in the morning when that thing came on, which I guess for them was 3 in the morning at 9 would be noon. So it'd be like 3 in the afternoon or something like that for them. It was real convenient for them. It was not convenient for us. So yeah. Oh, Clint's gonna one up me here. You had a knee scope. Well, how are you? Swelling? Pain? Crutches? Are you okay? I hope not. I got you. I got you. Actually, I'm going to be local till November. My fall travel is my late summer travel is done with. Yeah. I thought it was from Hawaii. You remember Hawaii had that they didn't get the notification when they needed it, but they got a notification that there was some sort of launch or attack or something coming on. Was that a couple years ago? Gee whiz. So yeah. So, oh, I missed this one, Michael. 8 p.m. in Copenhagen. Michael, if you haven't seen it, Michael posted just a hilarious drawing on in Facebook a couple days ago, and it was a drawing of a horse. That the rear end of the horse was just beautifully drawn. The center section was so, and then the front section was stick figure. And the essence of it was, this is what I think I sound like. And then the front of the horse was, this is what I really sound like. And I think it would have to do something with your accent. But for me, it was just how smart I think I sound versus how stupid I really sound. Aha. All right. Good. When did you say you got your knee scoped? It was on Monday. Today's Wednesday. Oh, that's quick. That's good. Good deal. When I had my knee replaced, I didn't realize it, but Tylenol, regular old Tylenol, was just like a killer drug for knee pain. Who knew? I mean, it never really helped me much with headaches or other kinds of things, but boy, for knee pain, at least the kind of pain that I had for a replacement, it was just like gold. It was great, and it was non-addicting, and I could take it every 4 hours, and I could cheat and take more than I needed. But yeah, congratulations, by the way. I hope that means that it's going to be an improvement for you in whatever it was, and not just a repair. Yeah, knees are kind of important. Knees and ankles and eyes and shoulders, all those kinds of things that tend to wear out. I guess ankles don't wear out, but knees sure do. I wasn't a big jogger. I wasn't a big much of anythinger, but I wore a knee out. Sure did, and then had the thing. What do you call it? Where it gets kind of cloudy vision, cataracts. That's it, and it bothered me during the daytime. Didn't bother me much at night, but during the day it was the pain. Hello, Jan. Glad to have you. I don't know if you guys can hear the lawnmower in the background. It hasn't rained here in like 12 years, and the grass is not growing. But these guys have got a contract to come cut the grass here, I think, regardless. So yeah. Hello, Bayview support. Bayview support. Bayview. Does that mean you're local, as in the Mobile Bay, or you are to another bay somewhere else, or just a view of the bay? Oxy was not good for me. No. Actually, it really didn't. I used that for sleeping, but I had accidentally become addicted to that several years ago when I had a hip thing, and I was popping those things like candies, trying to get rid of the pain, and it really didn't get rid of the pain. And then the pain went away on its own, but the oxycodone, I didn't realize you had to wean off of that. Um, so kudos to you for staying with it for a very short period of time. I was not a happy camper after that. Not a happy camper. It was one of those things where I was feeling bad. And I didn't know why I was feeling bad. And then finally it dawned on me. I had stopped taking that med. And I just had to tough it out for about a week until it got out of my system. And if you know me, you know toughing it out is not my specialty. Dave. And it's the bay on the west side, on the left side of the country. All right. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Well, I'm excited about the about a portion of today's show. Unfortunately, it's only a very short portion, so we'll have to see what else is coming on. So what bay do you see from there, Michael? I mean, really? Oh, that's right. You're in Copenhagen. All right. Whatever. My international geography is not what it used to be. In fact, it never was what it used to be. So go work on that one for a while. Yep. So some Detroit Lions have been doing rather well lately as a whole. Yep. And some Packers, not so well. Some Saints, not so well. If you're following American NFL football. Yep. Hope Sandy's doing all right taking care of me. Actually, this is her favorite way of taking care of me. It doesn't require anything, although she does have to get up early to take me to the surgery. And then she just has to monitor me for 4 hours or something. I mean, it's amazing surgery. It takes 15 minutes, and they put a clear patch over the eye. I can see out of it, but they just don't want me hitting it or scratching it or anything. So yeah. Yep. One 2 weeks ago and one tomorrow. I am excited. That's funny. Good. Glad to see it. Of course, the Puget Sound. Yes, that is the bay. Neither of which I can pronounce. Birds, is that like Seahawks or Ravens? Cardinals? You've got a few choices there. Yeah, Packers fans everywhere, of course, are following what happened to Aaron Rodgers. Took big money, went to New York to the Jets, played 4 plays, and got hurt. Wow. That's just amazing. Hello, Marie. Maggie gets her own greeting. The host of the show does not get his own greeting. Just a hello, everyone, from my throne, she says. Negative on that. All right. Let's see. It's showtime. Shall we give it a try? Yes, he did, until he got a high ankle sprain, which is very painful and very difficult to come back to. Yeah. Y'all just talk among yourselves. We'll get this show going here. Sit tight. Oh, by the way, I fixed the intro, I think. Let's see if I did. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Hat tip to Martin K for the great intro and outro, by the way. And Marie gives me a hi, Tom, there in the chat. Thank you, Marie. Apologies if you can hear them in the background. That is a blower, I think. Yeah, they're cutting the grass, which is dead, and blowing off all the dead grass into another place. Who knows? So that'll come and go. We are using the Waves Audio NS1 noise suppressor as a VST3 plugin in vMix. I think that's the only one I'm using. Let me pop that up just a second, and I'll tell you for sure. Where's my audio? My audio is right here at the desk. Plugin is the NS1. I'm using one at the church that's really pretty cool. It is, I don't even know the name of it. I should find out. Anyway, it brings up the floor and it drops the ceiling, because I've got somebody that doesn't speak loud enough and somebody else that sings too loudly, or the music is too loud. So I want to kind of compress them in together. I guess it's some sort of hybrid compressor. Anyway, it works really, really well for that purpose. I used to have to jockey the controls in the audio to bring it down. Well, actually, I had a shortcut that pulled the audio down and then boosted it back up. Boosted it up for the sermon, pulled it down for the music. I think part of it is we're just getting a little, it's too hot of a feed coming from the Behringer X32 board. One of these days, I'm going to attach a USB cable to it so I can bring in all the channels and make the mix myself. Can't hear the grass blower. Great. Thank you, Michael. Good to know. Good to know. It's October. How about that? It is October here in the US, and that probably means that it's October everywhere. So anyway, it's October everywhere. But it's 80 degrees outside, so it's still pretty mild here. Big news personally, as we were saying in pre-show, got eye surgery 2 weeks ago. You don't know that you can see a scar. I can't see a scar. They took the old lens out, put a new lens in, doing this eye tomorrow. So it's Thursday and then the weekend to recover. Takes 15 minutes. It's amazing. And I will be glasses free, other than reading glasses. They said, you can do one eye for distance and one eye for short vision, but and my brother's got that, but I want to be able to see down the road. I love to drive, and so I want to have driving being I hear that really, really well. I'm going to turn off the filter so you can hear that. Tell me you didn't hear that. Where is the filter? It's right there. Plug in. Turn it off. 3, 2, 1. Can you hear it now? It's moving away now. All right, I'll turn the filter back on. It makes me feel better anyway. Don't know if it makes you feel better or makes any difference at all. The last show we did was 2 weeks ago, and we talked about vMix 27, which is coming out shortly, and about Zoom. And I had an interesting conversation with somebody at Zoom about that from the Zoom angle. And apparently Zoom has created um, a developer's package so you can, get into Zoom the same way the old Zoom ISO got into Zoom, and allows you to, pick out individuals in a Zoom meeting and bring them into, in this case, a vMix broadcast. And apparently there is an app that you may need to, actually, I don't know whether the app becomes part of vMix or whether you have to download it and install it separately, like that VLC plugin for vMix. We'll find out. But there goes the mower. But from the Zoom perspective, it appears that vMix has satisfied all of their requirements. And Zoom is giving, this is all totally off, totally off the record, totally not for publication. But that Zoom has given vMix the thumbs up to what vMix has done so far. And the other part is that vMix has to do what it needs to do on its end in order to handle the audio and the video coming from Zoom, and then to be able to pick up all the different elements that it wants to pick up. I'm assuming video and audio, but there also may be a data element to it too that's involved. So that Martin Sinclair is working hard on that, because that's if I know him, I don't know him that well, but we're both Sinclairs, so there's something to that. But I suspect Martin has got most everything polished up that he wants to polish. I think he's got his AV1 taken care of, and tweaked the way he wants. There may be some minor changes that have to happen as a result of bug reports with the beta. But I think he's got AV1 where he wants it. I think he's got other things like the new, well, not new, but the modifications, the improvements, the new features to layers that will allow us to actually go in and place things with the accuracy that we can in, say, GT Title Designer. Wouldn't be surprised if it's, some of the same code that he's used in GT Title Designer that he's ported over to layers somehow. I don't know what I'm talking about, so don't quote me. I mean, you can quote me, but you can do that at your own risk. I think the idea of adding more outputs may be as simple as checking a box. You got 2 outputs before, now you're going to get 4. And as he said on the most recent vMix Funtime live show, to whom much is given, much is required. That absolute power is absolute and it corrupts, or something like that. And so we want to be able to use those things wisely and not use them in places where they won't work and where something may crash as a result. We'll see. I can't wait to try multiple outputs on a deck link card of some kind and see how many different outputs we can have going there. Or redirect those outputs to live streams. It seems to me too now that, if we're moving outputs to 4, and we used to have vMix call on the 4K version anyway with 4, and the replay used to be with 4, that maybe we ought to move live streams up to 4. And you say, well, wait, Tom, an NVIDIA card will only do 3 hardware encoders. Well, that's true. But if we're all going to move to AV1, then why can't you have 4 streams? If you've got some sort of engine to do the AV1 encoding, we will just have to see. So anyway, it sounds like it, and this is just me talking. I've not talked to anybody about this. This is just purely conjecture on the way I've seen vMix work in the past, but that I think that everything in vMix 27 is ready to go for the beta except the Zoom. I think that's the one that it's the big feature, at least in my world. I mean, AV1, I know that's a big feature. I know AV1 is important, but I think Zoom is the sexy feature. Zoom is the one that's going to get a lot of headlines. Most people don't care about AV1 really. If you've got a low bandwidth situation, I've got 20 megs up. You could call that a low bandwidth situation. I'm using more than I should today. I'm using 13 megs of my 20. Hopefully the stream will be okay, but I like to keep it around 50% instead of, whatever 13 is. 20. Anyway, not going to do the math. 7.5%, probably something like that. 6.5%, 65%. I think that he is working primarily on Zoom integration right now. And that when he has got that where he wants it, he will release a beta. Now, in the past, the beta has been timed to a vMix Funtime live show broadcast. And in recent history, the vMix Funtime live show broadcasts have been at the end of the month. So I'm guessing that the vMix Funtime live show for October will mark the release of vMix 27. And I'm betting that that's their target date. So let me pull my calendar up here right quick and see that October 24th, October 31st is the last Tuesday of the month. So maybe October 31st will be, now that's November 1st for those of you here in the US, for the most part. Anyway, so the 31st of October, the 1st of November, and then the way they generally will do it is they'll say, at the end of the show today, we'll make that available, the beta available in the forum, in the general discussion forum in vMix as a preview. But what we've found in the past is that sometimes that doesn't hit for another 24 hours. So my guess is that vMix 27, for those of you in the States, and depending on where you are, you can change your time zone appropriately, that on November 2nd, Thursday, November 2nd is when you will find that you can download vMix 27 preview. Purely my guess, purely a guess, just a guess. Now, if they don't have everything they want done by then it won't happen. And it may be the end of November, 1st of December. I think they'd like to have this out before Christmas. I think they'd like to have it out before the end of November. I think they'd like to have it out. They'd probably like to have it out tonight, but that's not the point. I think they'd like to have it out before Christmas, and that would give folks an opportunity to play with it and begin to find bugs, and that we'll see an official release of vMix 27 long before NAB in April of 2024. Now, that's just me guessing. But again, the signs are there. The conversations I've had with Zoom have been, vMix looks good. They've done all we've asked. They've got permission to move ahead. Obviously, Zoom wants to see it before vMix releases it, but they've satisfied it on the Zoom end for this point. So can't wait to see it. It's going to be fun. For those of you that do a lot of Zoom or are asked to do Zoom for a client, this may be a real game changer in terms of making your production that much more professional. I mean, nobody liked doing the NDI thing and the NDI audio and the virtual audio cables when you had to do those. They were doable, but it wasn't the best. Now that's going to be integrated right in, and it will be as good as, I'm guessing, it will be as good as Zoom is capable of being. And that's going to depend on what level of Zoom you or your client has bought in at. If you want 1080p, I understand it has to be a business account of some kind or higher, enterprise. And 720 will be available for those below that. I think I've got a Zoom Pro account, so I may have to upgrade to the next level just to get the 1080p just to play with. And as you recall, Zoom is going to work a little differently than vMix Call. vMix Call sets up a peer-to-peer connection, and Zoom is going to go through a third party or go through a server of some type. So they're going to be similar in result, but once you really get under the hood and start looking, I think there'll be some pretty significant differences. Martin pledged that the Zoom Call will have the same mix minus that the vMix Call has. So in that sense, it'll still act like a vMix Call. But vMix Call is free and doesn't require anything on either end. And we'll get you 1080p if you've got vMix on both ends. So there you go. You know, that's what I see. So I'm pinning it for looking at my calendar here again. vMix Funtime Live Show. Again, this is just my guess. October 31st, with a actual date for those of us here in the US of the 1st of November, with vMix 27 being released late the night of the 1st of November, which means for the most of us will be November 2nd, which is a Thursday. We'll see. We'll have a Streaming Idiots show on November 1st. And so we'll see if we get to play with a version 27 on that or not. You know, if they release it, well, no, Wednesday night would be Wednesday night, wouldn't it? Yeah. Or would that be Monday night? Maybe it'd be Monday night, not Wednesday night. Well, if that's the case, then we'll definitely have it for this show. So, yeah. Ed's asking in the chat, he uses vMix Call for TalkBack with Zoom integration. You think we'll be able to do that? I don't see why not. I think from a vMix standpoint, vMix Call and Zoom will function very similarly, unlike SRT, for example, which is just one way and has tons of latency. I think the Zoom will be low latency, and I think you'll be able to control where you send the audio and what video you return to the Zoom caller. So I think there we go. Maurice says at IBC, the vMix crew mentioned that Zoom had to approve something before they could release it. Well, it sounds like Zoom has done that. So maybe it's going to be sooner than later. Sooner than later. I ran into a link, and I'll check it and see if it's something I can share. If it is, I'll share it in the Streaming Idiots group. And I'll put it down here in the show notes on this one about the vMix app. Bill is asking, will we be able to run live guests on one audio mix and a green room on the other, all from the same Zoom call? I don't see why not, Bill, but the way this is going to work is that you will bring in each individual Zoom caller as an individual input in vMix. You won't be bringing in the entire meeting, nor will you be bringing in the entire mixed audio of that meeting. My understanding is that you'll bring in a specific caller with that specific caller's audio, and that vMix will be sending a mix minus back to that caller, but that, and this is me saying this now, I haven't heard vMix say this, but my imagination. Anyway, who knows what I want to say. My thoughts are that vMix would handle the return audio and the return video to the Zoom caller in a like manner as they do to vMix Call. That is, you can choose the source of the audio, you can choose the source of the video. You need to remember, though, if you're choosing the source of the audio and it's not master, you're going to forego the mix minus. A lot of folks have kind of gotten themselves in trouble with vMix Call and they end up, saying, "Oh, my guest hears their voice being returned to them." And the first question is, are you using master as the audio source for the guest? Well, no, I'm using it. Well, that's the problem. You need to get that mix done correctly. If you're not going to let vMix do it for you automatically, then you need to do it for you specifically. So there. Michael Graves mentions that Zoom has an unmentioned advantage that Zoom is already expressly allowed in otherwise restrictive corporate networks. And that's a big plus. Yeah. vMix Call had trouble making some connections. Vlad is asking, is there going to be a gallery view as a Zoom input in vMix 27? That's a good question. And if not, that would be an interesting feature request. But my guess would be that you could also capture that. If you're running a Zoom meeting on your PC, or if you are a participant in a meeting on your PC separate from vMix, then I think you could probably capture the gallery view. But again, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, I don't know that the intent of this is to duplicate all of the features in Zoom. I think the intent is to be able to bring in a Zoom guest into your vMix production. And more than one. Yeah. I think it's going to be, what were the numbers they were using? 1080p, maybe up to 6. After that, the resolution is going to drop down, because vMix is currently on a 30 meg cap of the allowable bandwidth that can be used on any single vMix production. Mike says, the thing with Zoom is that there's no way to mute people at the Zoom end. It would be possible to mute people at the vMix end. But again, Mike, the way this is going to be is that your Zoom input in vMix will be a single person with that single person's audio. So if there's other audio going on in the Zoom call, it won't be part of that. At least that's my understanding. So you won't have as you mentioned, you won't have the background noise of somebody's baby crying or dog barking or cabinets closing, eggs frying. Yes. I think, and I think for those of you that have made your own green room, I think you should be able to incorporate an NDI, a Zoom caller into that green room in a similar fashion to incorporating a vMix caller in that green room. If you have more than one person in the green room, or even if you're just setting up a talkback channel, I think that'll happen in a similar fashion. I mean, if I were vMix, that's what I would be doing. I would make this as similar to vMix Call in an actual function. That way we don't have to retrain a bunch of people how to use it. You already know how to use it. You bring in an input. You select a video source for the caller. You select an audio source for the caller. The input brings in the single person's video and their own audio, and maybe some data too. We will have to see. My guess is that, again, Xavier, this is not going to duplicate the features in Zoom. This is going to be a way, at least not initially, this is going to be a way to bring in a Zoom caller into vMix. Yep. And Michael's saying in chat, Zoom and vMix Social, I understood that, yes, the vMix Zoom input or something. No, yeah, not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But it sounds like vMix Social would be able to identify an individual Zoom meeting and glean the comments in that. So yeah, we'll see. Yep, that's what Vlad confirms. Maria's saying if you get each participant as their own input, wouldn't you have to make the multi-view in vMix? Yes. Yes. But again, let's say your client is asking you to use their Zoom channel and to take maybe their keynoter who is going to be on a Zoom call and independently live stream that or record it with different graphics or as part of a different program. I mean, I think this is going to be a tool. We'll see. If you've got multiple Zoom callers, then certainly you can multi-view them, but you could have a mix. I'm imagining you could have a mix of vMix callers and Zoom callers, and that it would be indistinguishable to the viewing audience whether somebody was coming in via Zoom or via vMix call. Yeah. Vlad says, so if I'm the host of an online class in Zoom, I still need to create the meeting outside of vMix. I don't know. We'll have to look again at the input page in vMix that showed the Zoom input. My understanding was that it was for an already existing meeting. Yeah. Again, we're not recreating Zoom. And with the response that vMix had with Facebook in trying to schedule a Facebook post that included video, and that was a disaster. Facebook pulled the plug on it, and we didn't know about it until it didn't work anymore, and then everybody blamed vMix. vMix is broke. No, Facebook just took away the permissions to do that. So, yep. Vlad says, pretty sure Martin will publish a tutorial for vMix integration. Yeah. Yeah. Mike says, with vMix call, guests can only hear what I send them. That's correct. That's correct. That is correct. And with Zoom, it's going to be interesting. Let's say you've got 6 people on a Zoom call, but really you're only capturing one of them. That person is going to have the other 5 people on the call, and then it's going to have whatever audio you send back to them. So if you're sending them, program feed, or if you're sending them a specific back channel, they'll hear it, but I don't think the rest of their group will. We'll see. That's going to be interesting to find out. Those are the little kinds of things you don't really think about until you get going on this. Steve's asking, how is screen sharing going to work from the Zoom caller? And I think that's one of the things they're working out right now. Yeah. We'll see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to play with. It's going to be fun to experiment with. And SGA TV 47 is asking, when is this coming out? It is coming out as a beta soon, shortly. Could be any day now. I'm thinking at the end of the month. That's my guess, as a beta. And then after the first of the year as a release. Now, for those of you whose vMix licenses no longer have free updates, updates cost you $60 a year to get the latest, greatest from vMix. It doesn't mean you get to have Pro if you've got 4K, but it means if you have 25 and you want 27, it'll cost you $60 probably to get it. And once vMix 27 comes out in full release, or maybe even in beta, we'll give away some upgrades, and then we'll probably put some on sale too. There is no release date. That's right, Marie. There's no release date. Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump to the post show, and we can chat some more about this, and it'll be worth waiting for. I think that's just my opinion. Isn't this great? No reflection on lights. I love it. So yeah. When is vMix coming out? When is vMix 27 going to make it there its appearance? Well, in a way, it's already come out. You saw it. Jan and Marie and Maggie saw it. Michael, were you at IBC? It was there at IBC. You got to see it. Did you get to play with it? Did they let you actually touch the mouse? I need to call TJ and see what he thinks about it. Maybe we can get him on a future program. Xavier, we don't want to make ourselves disposable. We want to remain unique and required as part of this process. And, it's one of those things, I think about this all the time. The easier technology tries to make things for us, the bigger mess it makes when it breaks. And, it's like here in the US, we got this emergency alert on our cell phones today. And I think probably TV and radio. And everybody was supposed to get it. So that in theory, somebody somewhere could punch a button and everybody in the US would be notified of something, an alert. But what if that button breaks? And it alerts people in the middle of the night for lost kittens. I mean, it'd be a mess. It'd be a mess. Couldn't make it to IBC. Gotcha. I'm wondering, I'm going to talk to Sandy about it. Maybe we can get there next year. That would be fun. We sure enjoyed it. All right, Steve says he's got 24. Does he need to install 26 and 25 and 26 before 27? No, what you already have. Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. You got to touch 27. Ooh, tell us about it. Tell us about it. I agree. Kittens should not be lost at night, but a national alert is probably not helpful. No, probably not helpful. Although, they could be pretty important kittens. No, so Jan, if you really did get to touch 27, what was your impression? I mean, was there something that you really liked about it? Takes a lot of effort to make something simple, something appear simple and elegant. Agreed. It's like, it's like anything. It's like, platform diving or ballet or, anything else that, looks graceful and easy. And it requires a lot of training and discipline to get there. And I think that's the same way. Can tech actually replace all the experience we have? I'm pushing 30. Can AI apply all that? You're right. We don't want to replace ourselves. No. And here's the other thing. We don't want to make the job so easy that our expertise doesn't distinguish us from the other people that don't have our expertise. And vMix has done that. vMix has done that to the TV industry. We've got TV stations now running vMix because they can. And yeah, we've built a number of systems for television stations all across the country that are putting this in as a backup. We'll see. Yep. Indeed. Indeed. Oh my gosh. I've got cans in my pantry older than that. Skynet. Oh my gosh. Didn't get to play in details, but it's not going to feel different except for the new features. Marie, just reach over and smack him. That is not helpful at all. That's always the case, isn't it? Although it's really fun to go to, I'm going to go to the add input section right here, and I'm going to see that there's 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 sections of inputs that I could choose from. And within those, we've got NDI desktop capture, which is 2, stream SRT, which is 2, image sequence stinger, which is 2, and then there are others that probably have more than one option in them as well. So really, it looks like there's close to 22 different inputs that are available. And we're going to add a new one for Zoom, unless it becomes a subcategory of vMix call. I would think not, but that might have happened. And that's happened to Jan. No, I don't have vMix 27. I'm using good old whatever it is I've got, H.264. And will, in fact, I did look at that earlier just to see if I had the advantage, if I had the opportunity to use HEVC. Ooh, excuse me, goodness gracious, or anything else. But no, just H.264. And it's okay. The question really is, will my hardware be able to do AV1? If I'm living on the edge with hardware now in terms of the ability to stream and record and switch and do everything else, and I add AV1 to the CPU mix, does that become a bridge too far? Does it make streaming easier to do the same thing? Maybe, because I'm sending less data. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Thanks for tuning in, Mags. And thanks for the, what was it you sent me? Oh, the replay controllers. We're all good. Yeah, we noticed that. We noticed that. And there's somebody else that was at IBC. Hey, Joe, welcome to you. Glad to have you. Joe, no doubt, has had a look at vMix 27. What do you think? Don't know yet. These people will talk about anything. Anything, I tell you. Anything. I can't imagine. Joe, come on the show soon and let's talk about the latest, greatest with Central Control. Can we do that? Good. I'm trying to figure this out. Not really sure where we're going with any of that. Or that. Oh my gosh. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Let's do something, Joe, shall we? I had the pleasure of meeting Joe in person, not once, but twice at IBC and at NAB. Okay, there you go. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. All right, B's and G's. That's short for boys and girls. I got to go back to work like Maggie. I got PCs to build and people to see and places to go and problems to make worse. But I appreciate you guys popping in. And we will catch you guys next week. Joe, I'll be in touch. And yeah. Thanks for what do they say? Thanks for watching. Yeah. Catch you later.